Welcome to our Smart Aquaculture webinar, where we're going to demonstrate something that I call spine coding with Smart Aquaculture digital twin platform. We are developing a fishing boat.java model that has been spine coded with the Computate platform. So to learn more, go to computate.org and check out our products where you learn how to install OpenShift Local on your own computer and deploy the Smart Aquaculture on OpenShift Local platform, all for free. And if you want to become a developer, you can learn more with our products after that, like the Smart Aquaculture Developer and Computate Smart Website Builder if you want to build your own data-driven website that has been spine coded. So what is spine coding? I've been doing this for 20 years. And if you look in the web.archive.org, you'll see my original site, which is trailblazehunting.com. This site was developed back in 2005 using my first prototype around Halloween, using my first prototype for spine coding, which is completely written in XML. And it was an XML-driven site using XSLT that kind of just, it built itself, and you could create content with it for hunts and outfitters and vouchers and things to manage a hunting consulting business. I don't run the hunting consulting business, but I ran the website. So ever since then, it's still running at trailblazehunt.com. And so we've been doing this. I've been doing this for 20 years. And I finally gave it a good name, in my opinion, which is spine coding. And so I made it official in the computate.org/computate repo README, where we say that, spine programming is an acronym for spine programming is not easy. And it's a completely secure and local host approach to AI code generation on your own computer and on Red Hat OpenShift AI, where you can generate a reactive data-driven website and API in Java Vertex intelligently by writing YAML rules into a Java class and method comments, and define some spines in your Java classes, which are protective void methods that start with the underscore character. Those spines, the underscore represents like disks between your spine. And let the Computate Code Generation Watcher service index your code in a Solr search engine on your own computer, and then the Computate Code Generation service will generate the code you need. And you can use the Computate developer products like the Computate Smart Website Builder to build the rest of your site. So it makes it easier. It does persistence. It's internationalized. It works in English and French. It's integrated with Solr Search and PostgreSQL, and it's a new way to write code to make persistence easier. So that's what we are doing here in the fishing boat model. So we have described the fishing boat model. It's order 12. If you compare that to the other models in our site, there's order 1, order 7, order 12 here, order 10. We declare these models in a certain order so that at least when you generate like the OpenAPI spec and the main vertical and other things that include references to all the models, they come in a certain order so that it's not kind of semi-random out of how the search engine Solr randomly sorts things when you query it. We give it some kind of order, and we give it a description. So a fishing boat that catches fish from a fish population and returns the fish to a dock. Give it some language context because some words in English start with A, are described with A, and some are described with A-N. But for a fishing boat, we say a fishing boat. We give it a font awesome icon, and we return 100 fishing boats from the API at a time. And we put some font awesome SVG into the map model so that when it appears on the map, it'll have this SVG and appear as a fishing boat. And we have a search API for a fishing boat and an edit page for the fishing boat and a JSON API for fishing boats. And we also have APIs to search, get, patch, post, delete, and import fishing boats. And we specify some authorization groups. So we have a fishing boat viewer that can get all fishing boats, a fishing boat editor that can get, post, and patch fishing boats, and administrator and super admin. We have more privileges than that. A super admin could potentially delete everything and start over. Since this is in development, we might want to just delete everything and start over. You never know. So we allow that. And then a fishing boat is relative to a location and a time. So you have both a location for a fishing boat and a time zone. Let me show you what I mean. So I'm going to stop this site. And because I'm developing this locally, I need to make sure that I'm logged into OpenShift Local. OpenShift Local is free. It's an amazing product from Red Hat, and it lets you run an OpenShift cloud environment on your computer. You type CRC start, and then it runs as a virtual machine, but configures all the networking and everything you need to have OpenShift on your own computer. And the console is accessible at this URL, and it lets you log into your command line interface. So I run this command to log into my OpenShift local, and now I can run this application because locally this needs to connect to a Zookeeper cluster manager, a Postgres database, a Keycloak instance, and all of that is running in OpenShift local. But we use node ports and routes to make those services available locally. And we do that with the Smart Aquaculture developer product. So then we can run this. So we go to run and debug Smart Aquaculture and run this. So it connects to the cluster manager, it connects to the database, it connects to Keycloak. It throws an error. What is this error? Unresolved compilation problem. Oh, well, let me stop this then. Guess let me just make sure everything's okay here, because this is in development right now, so I might have messed something up. So let me do a Maven clean install, see what the problem is. It might not be a problem at all. It might just be VS Code Maven is out of sync with the file system for some reason, and we just need to do a Maven clean install and a little refresh on this Maven tab in VS Code to get it back working again. So we do Maven clean install. Build success. Everything's good. So that was just a VS Code mistake. So let's reload this. And now everything should be good. We're going to start and stop this again. Start. Clear. Okay, it's telling me it just did its data import. That's good. And it told me the URL to connect to the data. So go here to localhost colon 10230. This is our Smart Aquaculture platform, and it queries the fishing docks and fish processing plants available. Could it let me do a quick update to the home page to include fishing boats homepage. So the home page, what do we do? We already queried the facets for the models, so all I have to do is add a new call out here for change the icon to be a boat, font awesome boat, fishing boats, and change the facet class to be fishing boats. And we save this back to our home page, and let's see what happens. Fishing boats blink. Well, that's just great. Oops, it shouldn't be fishing boats. It should be fishing boat. Let's try this again. 18 fishing boats. Wait a minute. That doesn't sound. Oh, wait. Actually, that might be right because if I go to fishing boats and I log in, it makes me authenticate because this is built with fine-grained access control. I sign in, and for some reason, my import process is bringing in 16 empty boats. And I got to figure out why that is. Fishing boat null. So I'm going to go and delete these fishing boat. The boats that have fishing boat null as a name, as an identifier. And then if I go back to all fishing boats, it says 2. And then if I go to the home page again, and it says fishing boats 2. So anyway, that is a little example of we developed the home page, and then let me go back to fishing boats. So I have, look at that, there's the icon. It's a fishing boat right there. If I go to Empire 2 and I move this, so I can, right now I can click on this location thingy and put it right here, and then right click and say set location of fishing boat Empire 2 to here. And it used to refresh automatically, but oh, for some reason that's not working. Why? Set location, bugger, network. Set location of fishing boat 2 patch. Says quest set location coordinates -88 hit point console, some kind of JavaScript error. It's happening. So maybe I gotta fix these JavaScript bugs. Anyway, with our digital twin, we can change these values around and change the average speed of the boat, max speed, the miles per gallon, the gallons of gas. Because what we want to do is send these boats out from a dock and have them visit a fish population. This is, oh, that's the blue ones are docks. And then there should be a boat by a dock that goes and visits a fish population and collects some fish and then comes back to the dock and then maybe sleeps overnight and then goes and does it again. And we're going to build this into a digital twin simulation that's event-driven and so that we can simulate better practices in the fishing industry. Also bring in some ocean data to report on the temperature of the ocean, the health of the fish populations, as a cool open source project that involves the ecological forecasting community and the smart aquaculture community, and it does all kinds of fun things. So you saw a few bugs. We're going to work those out. But I wanted to explain a little bit how the vibe or the um how we code this. I explained how we coded the class, but each of these um chunks of code or disks within your bind code is described individually. So for a time zone, we have doc values, which is a search engine, Solr search engine term for how it should be persisted in the search engine. We say persist true to make sure that the time zone is stored in the database. We have a display name called time zone. We have a description, the local time zone of the fishing trip, departure, and arrival dates are based on, and we open a new row in the UI for departure or arrival. If you look at this, we go to an individual fishing boat and go to this boat too. Oh, it created a new record there. Interesting. So this is the departure / arrival section that includes this data. So we can split things into different sections that collapse: departure, arrival, name, and description, and GSILD details. All of that was written out how it should be here in the code. And order matters when you're declaring these spines, but we can reorder things in the UI by saying what row they appear and what cell. Rows basically relate to which title they are a part of. So departure arrival is one row, and we can put as many field cells in it as we want. And they just appear in the order that you declare them by number. Facet means that if you go to all fishing boats and you do filters, let's see, let's do average speed. So there's one boat that has average speed of 10 and one that has 37. That's what faceting is. It's counting things, counting values. And zone true means this is a time zone field because we can go to a boat and set the time zone. So if I notice that it says 4:13 p.m., but if I change this to Los Angeles, then the time should change to 1:13 p.m. So I click on this. Oh, and that didn't change. Let me see. You know, I swear this is, oh, there it is. It did change, 1:13 p.m. Let me try this one more time. Let me change it back to New York. There, it automatically changed. Let me change it to Denver. I must have been impatient or something. Or there's some kind of network glitch or something, but sometimes it requires a refresh. Sometimes it doesn't. York. We'll try to make that more consistent. There we go. So that's a time zone, and this there's many time zones in our system because we do a time zone import based on the Java time zones. If we go all time zones, you'll see there's 632 time zones, and we keep track of their location and their name and their abbreviation, so that we can accurately do zone date times, because nobody you only care about when a boat left in the local time, in my opinion. So I wanted to be able to support fishing boats wow, there's just more and more fishing boats being generated. I'm gonna have to figure out why that is. It's weird. Um, and and so we specify the time zone. Let me check here. Entity short ID. Oh, I think I know what the problem is. Bar, like, or no, that is the bar. I'll have to figure out what the problem is. But we um because we've written this as a spine-coded method, if I hover over this method and I go find the entity, time zone, and solar, then it's going to make me authenticate in solar. But this is the model data of this spine-coded method. It's got all kinds of details about that method and that it relates to a time zone class. Um, it knows that it relates to a time zone class as a foreign key relation. So um, when I look at this db-create script that is auto-generated, oh, time zone is not, never mind. Time zone is not a database relation, but so it's not in the database, it's stored only in the search engine. The way we know that is if I go to timezone.java and I go to the top, it extends a class called base result, which base results are only stored in the search engine, whereas a fishing boat is stored in the database. It's a map model. And this fishing boat also relates to a fishing dock ID. So this also is a foreign key relation. It says relate to fishing dock.entity short ID. And if I go find this in Solr, then it has information about the fishing dock class as a foreign key relationship that's related to this method, and it appears in the db-create script. Oh, let's see. That one, I thought that would have a foreign key. Let me rebuild the Smart Aquaculture API. Well, okay, we don't, but I'm gonna have, I'm gonna have to figure out why I don't see the foreign key relationship showing up there. So we have foreign key relationships in our AI telemetry model. Well, shouldn't relate. I'll figure that out. But at least this is what I was troubleshooting this yesterday, but we are able to, should be able to link a fishing dock to this fishing boat. So we pick Cousins Oyster Dock, and when you set the fishing dock ID, it searches for the fishing dock here and should find it. Where's and well, think this is where we may have seen an error occur. Oh yeah, this is the bug that I was fixing yesterday, but didn't finish fixing it. So if I was doing a search result instead of a search model. So let me stop and start this again, and then this should actually work. So then, oops, do Smart Aquaculture, run this. Refresh this page to log in again. See, I'm logged in through single sign-on, keycloak. And then I pick a doc, Cousins Oyster doc, and it comes here. And then it comes here. It gets that identifier. It's got solar ID 2. Smart Aquaculture Local Fishing Dock 155. Okay, so then now it's actually linked. And if I go back to this page, then it remembers this is the fishing dock that this boat comes from. Because we want the boat to go out to a fish population and then come back again. So we're defining the digital twin so that it can handle this type of simulation. Anyway, I think that's all the detail I'll go into today, and I'm still perfecting this this relationship here because I found a bug in the code generation, but we're going to fix it. But are there any questions about how to spine code smart aquaculture fishing boats? Okay. Well, that's all I have for today. Um, Happy Halloween. Any other questions before we close?
Thank you very much for your time and explanation.
All right. Okay, no problem. Okay, I'll see
Have
you
a
next
nice
week.
weekend.
Thanks. You too.